It's another hump day. And I'm back on the air. My big ass mouth, my big ass microphone, and my good friends. Let me jump over here and grab them up and add them into the call. Mr. Vaughn West coming on. Let's see. Lance won't be here tonight. He's got something going on. Maybe he'll show up in the second hour. Maybe. We'll see. Jump over here and grab Mr. David F. Town Baller and add him into the call as well. Prepper Chicks said she's driving, but her Skype's lit, so I'm going to add her in too. We'll see if she answers. All right. What's up, fellas? David, Mr. Vaughn West.
Hey, what's going on, Jim? Hey, David.
Hey, Vaughn.
So I had a request from a listener. Well, actually, it's not. She adds in from time to time too. Kim asked me to jump on a topic of the Awan brothers, and they're making a deal supposedly against the DNC and Debbie Wasserman Schultz and whoever else might be associated with them. Either of you two have any updates on the Awan brothers and whether or not they're going to cut a deal with the feds?
I haven't been following that. I don't know.
No, me neither. I mean, I'm glad they got picked up at the airport. I'm not really. I mean, they're Debbie Wasserman Schultz, right? She was forced to resign from being the head of the DNC because of illegal stuff that she never went to fucking jail or another. She got a job from Hillary. Come on, man. You know, the Awan brothers, however you want to say, they're going to dish some dirt and some people are probably going to get fined or whatever. I don't know, man. I doubt anything is going to come of this unless the paradigm shifts in this country and the legal system actually does their job instead of covering up for everybody. You know, I don't know. I'm kind of holding it off at a distance. Vaughn, do you have anything on it? Have you been following it at all?
No, I was more leaned towards, well, we'll probably get into it anyway, the Saudi prince going to Israel. But no, I'm lost on that one. Other than Hillary went for a book review and got booed out of the place. And
yeah, I saw quite a few clips of that book review. Quite a few people were grilling her with questions and stuff, and she could do nothing but sit there and cackle. And then the Secret Service, whoever the fuck, whatever security agency would come in and step in and say, you need to leave now, blah, 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 whatever. The book is going to fall on its face. I promise you that. Amazon already dropped the price by 40% before they ever put it up for sale. Oh, shit. Anyway.
10-cent comic book, ain't it?
I mean, you know, it's fire tinder if you really want to get a copy, or maybe some backup toilet paper or something. I don't know. I'm not gonna buy it. Anyway, all right. So let's throw it over to David's stack of stuff and see what's going on as far as North Korea setting off a nuke and shit like that. David.
Well, there isn't a whole lot going on in North Korea. It was announced today that they from NBC News and a bunch of Fox and CNN, and saying that 3 defense officials told them that North Korea has been observed moving mobile missile launchers and preparing hard sites in the last 48 hours, and that the next test they do is going to be multiple missiles at one time. They're going to be launching them from mobile launchers and from stationary launchers.
There's a big-ass typhoon headed up that direction. Directly.
Yeah, it's going to miss them way to the south. It's going to hit China.
And Japan, it's going to run over the entire island of Japan from bottom to top. So anybody that's over there might want to grab an umbrella, something. I don't know. It doesn't look like it's a huge typhoon, but those things dump a shit ton of rain over there, man. They do. Like Harvey. They do. They just, I don't know what it is about typhoons or that side of the Pacific or whatever, but they have a ton of fucking moisture in them when they come on shore. So, anyway.
I think the water is a lot warmer over there that way.
Probably.
from the Indian Ocean and the Sea of Japan. And I know when we were over there in the Navy, we went through a couple of those typhoons, scared the shit out of me, but we went through a couple of them, man. And that Indian Ocean gets pretty damn hot in the Sea of Japan.
Yeah. 80 plus, 85, I think, is the cutoff temperature as to whether or not a hurricane can build. If they get into temperatures that are cooler than 85 degrees, they tend to either weaken or stay at the category that they're at. But if they get into waters that are above 85 degrees, they just seem to get bigger and bigger and bigger, like they're pulling energy from the water. So,
what was the deal on the? Now, I've got no conference to this. I just listened to a special that talked about it. If you are trading with little Kim, you're shut off. We have nothing to do with you. Now, that responds directly to China and Russia. And the response was somebody made a report to him. Well, that includes China, and that's exactly how he responded. Yes, I will make an executive order, present it before the president, Trump, and he will sign it. The UN has nothing to do with this. This is a direct order.
Said they would cut them off from the U.S. dollar. I think that China's already made plans to be cut off from the U.S. dollar, like they were dumping it already. So, this is another one of those.
It's mental masturbation.
Yeah,
China
it's
with
paper
the BRICS
tiger
and
shit.
everything else. China's already going to buy oil with the gold back yuan.
They're not going to put
They're
any sanctions
bypassing
on
the dollar completely with the oil coming up here real soon. And Venezuela just kicked the dollar out and said we're not using dollar for oil. Announced it today in Venezuela. No more dollar for oil.
Right. Because
that's one of your biggest oil nations, man.
Because China's got the oil yuan already, and it's gold backed, and they're putting it out there on the world market, and people are going to grab it up. It's just that's the way it's going to go, man. The United States as a hegemony is done. We're done.
Yeah, we're finished.
So now we got to find a way, according to them, find a way to politely tell the American people your money ain't worth shit.
They'll figure that out.
Have to regroup. And now I got something from RT. Now I haven't got no verification of this. That you're going to have to take some kind of device after the first year to buy and trade. Now I don't know if that's true. 2018 January. I have no clue.
I didn't see that. That.
This is why we haven't gotten to war with Iran yet, because of what's happening. We want to keep Iran on the good side, man.
Right.
We don't want them getting rid of the dollar for oil, even though they're considered our enemies. They use the dollar for oil over there.
Not for long. I bet you there's already plans in the works to get them involved in BRICS, and I just don't. And what about the S-400s going to Turkey?
Yeah, that's messed up, man. Turkey should be kicked out of NATO.
Yeah, it's just we've been saying that about the Turks since we started talking about it, man. They go wherever the money's at. They go whoever's got the biggest muscle.
Whenever Erdogan had his goons beat the shit out of those Kurds in front of the White House over there and shit, man. Yeah, right there, that dude. We shouldn't even let him over here anymore.
Nope. And nobody suffered any consequences from that at all. They got a little slap on the wrist.
Our government just puts sanctions on their Secret Service.
Yeah, slap on the wrist.
Yeah, pretty much.
They don't come over here.
This in here. I'd like to throw a salute out and to the families that I believe Stars and Stripes said there was 15 Marines lost in that amphibious accident. Just for a moment for that, Semper Fi guys, and our blessings to the families.
Were they killed or just injured? I thought they were just.
No, they were severely injured. They put out a stat of. They broke it down somewhere. I got it. I don't know exactly where they broke it down of how many were seriously injured. There's like 3 or 4 that they're really in bad shape, and the rest are in kind of in between.
Yeah, they said they were all able to evac the vehicle after it caught fire or whatever. Some amphibious vehicle, if you guys haven't heard, caught fire today somewhere in the United States. I think it was out in California. Yeah? Was it out in California? Okay.
Yeah.
And injured quite a few Marines. So, bad news.
And Department of Defense, Mattis was here today in North Dakota inspecting our nuclear sites.
Also heard on the wire that They're taking truckloads of dead bodies out of the Keys. Now, I've got nothing to verify that, but when the military moved in, they seen a lot of dead bodies in the debris where the people didn't leave. They got hit with 165-mile-an-hour winds, which destroyed the homes that those people were trying to ride up the storm in. So, I'm surprised we got that information out of there already.
What about the old folks home in Hollywood where they just left them in the sweltering heat and 8 of them have succumbed to it already? They had to evacuate over 100 people today after somebody finally found out that they were still in the nursing home with no power and no air conditioning in 90-plus degree temperatures, dying.
Oh, no one cares about the elderly anymore. It's just like those old ladies sitting in that nursing home in Houston with water up to their frickin' shoulders.
It is unacceptable.
Well, I think they moved in on that, and they had the police and some other officials in there that showed. The guy kept screaming that I have generators and air conditioning.
Yeah, I have access to fans. The building has power. The building only had power for the kitchen so that they could cook meals. Exactly. Nobody else on the floors had power at all. There was no fans in the rooms. Some of the people were laying in their beds dead and had not been tended to at all. So yeah, there are several investigations going on. I don't even want to go into it. This makes me so fucking mad. It makes me want to drive down to Florida and start shooting people myself. You know, this is absolutely unacceptable. Go ahead.
They better, the man that ran that retirement home, or whatever the hell I call it, a slaughterhouse at this point, and definitely publicly commit him to murder, because that's what he's done. You know, because he was asked if he needed help, and he told him no.
No. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that the sheriff that stopped the man in his swamp rig a couple of weeks back, we reported on this, I think that deputy sheriff should face charges too for trying to impede a rescue.
Well, I watched something, whether it's true or not. Okay, I give it to Jimmy early before the show started, and it's from somebody we all despise, you know, AJ. But man, it was talking. He was giving us some specifics of what happened, and the little governor or congressman, that gal, they ran her out because she wouldn't sign the agreement with the council. But she made a report that she had, one of her people had called her that her son was involved in dumping bodies. Now, this is undocumented, and this is just what come from this, and you take it for what it's worth, but I'm ready to believe it to this point, that there was single bullet wounds and 5,000 bodies dumped in the bayous during Katrina.
I had never heard anything about that. And I would think that 5,000 missing people would have been reported.
There's over 1 million. If you get a chance,
but I don't think that there was even. Well, I know a lot of people evacuated and they couldn't keep track of them because they were moving all over the fucking place down south. But I would tend to think that 5,000, at least some of them would have been reported as missing. You know, and I don't remember seeing any kind of numbers like that of missing people from Katrina. So I don't know. There's going to be all kinds of stories coming out now, and there's going to be all kinds of innuendo and people throwing stones at one another and shit about who failed to do what and blah blah blah. But they warned everybody days in advance. When the winds reach in excess of 45 miles an hour, you will have no access to 911. We will not be on the way to get you. You are on your own. So, if the people down in the Keys decided to ride it out and they wound up floating in the streets, that was their choice. That was their choice.
Well, I want to make these statements because this is the rumors you're going to hear.
Yeah.
Take it for heart, listen to it, and really think about what they're saying to you.
The things what I want to know about what's going on down in the Keys, since they have US 1 closed to anybody except for military and state personnel, is what are they doing in those homes down there? What are they taking from those homes down there? Are they going through all of them and removing weapons? And I want to know what's going on down there. You know,
Well,
even if the people try to go across by water and get on shore by boat, they're not letting them go to their houses. That is not their purview. They don't have any kind of constitutional authority whatsoever to stop someone from going to their own property.
Well, that's exactly what they're doing, because what was the Virgin Islands? The governor or whatever the hell he was give access to the police to remove all firearms. So they've already disarmed that whole little island.
Right.
Now,
and he's facing charges for that too. They're filing lawsuits against him for that, for violating their constitutional rights. Now I don't know if anybody down in Puerto Rico has constitutional rights. You know, I know that they're a territory of the U.S., but I don't think that they're under our constitutional authority. I don't know anything about that. I've never been to Puerto Rico, so I wouldn't know. But
there's that one island in Caribbean where they're got gangs running around now,
San Martin,
robbing people and raping people because all the prisoners got out of all the prisons, and they're running around everywhere with sticks and
knives and stole guns from an armory.
Yeah.
They're screaming at France saying, "Where the fuck are you people? You know, where are you people to come help us?" You know, if you're going to rely on the state like that, you get what you get.
They said basically it's like Lord of the Flies shit going on that island, man.
Yeah, it's getting closer and closer to the U.S., isn't it, people?
Yeah.
You know, we were hearing about it over in Europe, and you know, everybody's like, shit, it's on the other side of the ocean. It ain't coming here. It's not coming here. It's 90 miles off the coast now, y'all. And wait till you see what happens in Florida. Some of these places.
See what happens once they start disarming everybody. When they go in their houses and people come back and don't have nothing. That's the thing.
Some of these places are going to be without power for 3 weeks or more because high tension lines are dropped. The big steel structures on the side of the highways that you see carrying the huge ass power line. Some of those things are all laid over, and that's going to take weeks and weeks and weeks to get that shit strung back up. So we'll see what happens down in Florida. It's going to get interesting over the next few days. Evidently, they're bringing in a ton of gasoline into the ports and trying to get them on trucks and get it out to the gas stations. And there's a list from several county sheriff's offices that they're putting out there on Twitter and on Facebook of places that are open, that have food, that have water, that have facilities to use. So if anybody's listening to my voice somehow down there and you've got nothing, go, try to get on your social media and go around to the local sheriff's department pages and try to find out what's going on in your area. Try to get yourself squared away as quick as you can.
Well, my friend, biker friend that lives down right north of Orlando, close to the lakes around there, he still has over 2 foot of water in the streets. And
there are places that are getting ready to see more flooding because of the water coming south.
Right, and they can't have any power, even though the power's on. They can't plug back in because the plug-ins are 2 foot off the ground, but they're still, some are still underwater and some are so soaked you can't plug back in. And they got rain coming for the next 5 days. It's not a good thing down there, guys. Like Jimmy's saying, this is an ongoing thing for weeks.
If your house is flooded and you're without power right now, the best thing you can do to try to save all your shit is shut your breaker box off, shut the main to the house off. So when they do establish power in your area, if there's any kind of shorts in your property, they won't set off and burn your fucking house down. There's been quite a few random fires now because people get their power turned back on and there's still shit underwater, like you're saying, and the house shorts out and the walls catch on, and that's it. Bob's your uncle. So what do you think about all the 9/23 date stuff and with this being part of Revelation? I talk about that almost every week now, man. I'm not making my feelings, I'm not hiding my feelings anymore. I believe that we are watching the end times unfold right in front of our fucking faces. I don't know what's going to happen on 9/23. I know that there's a celestial event in the sky that was spoken about in Scripture, and it has never occurred before in history. But it's going to occur on 9/23.
Well, there's been now during these storms and some of these big rain events, like the one that hit there, Harvey, and this Irma, for ongoing 2 weeks, the ocean has been drawn up in South America.
Yep.
Now this is some crazy odd shit. This is biblical, man. This shit don't happen. That the ocean completely disappears. God.
There's scientists that are trying to explain because of the barometric pressure changes and how the winds were moving and how it sucked the bays dry. That you might be able to get away with that for a day, but after the hurricane's gone and everything, the water starts to level out. If it recedes again, it did it for a reason, and it's done it down in South America 3 times in the last 10 days. And there haven't been any global coastal events or anything that I'm aware of. No huge mid-Atlantic ridge earthquakes or anything that would constitute. I've also seen reports of a lot of mini tsunamis. Not big ones that are killing people, but 10-footers that people don't expect. They're out on the beach fucking around, and all of a sudden this huge rogue wave comes in and inundates the coastline for 15 minutes and then goes back out. It's so shit's happening. There are signs in the heavens and in the earth of what's coming.
They're not reporting this stuff.
No, they're not, because they know. Well, I don't know if they know or if they're just blind to it, or would they, the God of science is what everybody relies on now, and that God, little g, God, is going to fail you people that are relying on it, because things are going to happen coming up that science won't be able to explain. That's my thoughts anyway.
I have to look all over the place because I'm serious about this. There is events that are going on that they're hiding that are so unnatural, but yet it's written in the Bible in the end times. These things are going to go to pass. Even the Harvey, the times and the dates and the moments that happened were biblical in the Bible and explained, put together. I mean, how much more evidence does people need to know that we are in the end times? I believe with this thing in January that RT reported on is the beginning of the sign of the beast. You will not buy, trade, or sell unless you have the sign of the beast.
Well, I gotta throw something else in there. We talked about it a couple weeks ago or last week when Lori was on. The solar eclipses that are going to traverse the United States, the one that just occurred in August and the one that's coming up in 7 years, the number 7 is, that's got a lot to do with biblical prophecy too, because that's how long that the turmoil is supposed to last. 7 years of, we'll see what's coming, I guess, right?
What about that 8.1 quake in Mexico? It messed so many people up over there that Mexico was going to send aid to Houston, and they had to rescind it. They had said, we can't send the aid now. We need it for this side of Mexico. It just got wiped out.
Yeah, and that quake was offshore by 100 miles, and it still did all that damage. It killed 90-plus people so far.
Did you see the crack in the earth?
Yeah. There's going to be. I'm eager to see what's going to happen down in Florida now with all of this water that they got. They didn't get anything like Harvey. No 50 inches or anything, but there were places that got over a foot of water, and that they've been, slammed with storms most of the summer. So that water is just standing. It has no place to go. The ground's already saturated, and I'm just curious as to how many new sinkholes are going to open up across that entire state.
That's what Kenny was saying. The water is so deep, it's not receding in this more rain because he's right there by the lakes.
They can't. It can't go anywhere because the ground's already saturated.
That's right. So the sinkholes, like Jimmy's talking about, will be a reality because we know the undercurrent of that ocean and tides and everything else, all the stability away from the foundation of the land itself, and it's just going to cave in.
The farther south you get in that state, too, the closer you get to the water table. The highest point in Florida, I said this last week, I think, the highest point in Florida is only 56 feet above sea level. And the farther south you go, the thinner the ground gets when it comes to sea level. So all the houses down south, and especially the ones in the Keys and shit, they didn't have any foundations to them hardly at all because you can't go deep in the ground before you start hitting the water table. So a lot of them are slab homes, and that's why you see the devastation that you see. A slab home, I don't give a shit how hard it's attached to that concrete slab. 180-mile-an-hour winds are going to sweep it off of its foundation. It's just that simple.
There's Dan Pratt, Jim. Hey, Dan. How you doing, brother?
Hey, Dan. It's
you
good
need
to see you,
hook
brother.
Up, get on here.
Yeah. I'd like to get you added up on Skype, man. If you're on Skype, I'd like to get you added up on Skype and bring you into some shows from time to time, man. I've been listening to you for a long time on YouTube. I've followed you through several channel changes and deletes and coming backs, and I got a lot of love for you, brother. I'd love to get you added up on Skype and get you in on a couple of these shows from time to time. That's up to you, though. I'm going to leave that up to you. Thanks for joining in tonight, though. Thanks for joining in the conversation in the chat room. Yeah, doesn't Florida already have a sinkhole problem? Absolutely, and I'm eager, I'm anxious to see how bad it's going to be now, because it's Jesus. And what about Jose? You know, if you want to keep talking about these two, let's talk about Jose for a minute. Now, the projections are way too far out to be any kind of accurate. They've got to be less than 5 days before they're any kind of accurate. But you know, Vaughn said that he watched a couple of projections for Jose that said it's going to bring it up right into New York. So,
well, here's what I heard today. Now, I don't have nothing. You know, I need to get these people to start sending me some verification. But apparently, Hurricane Irma has turned west and headed to Houston. Yeah. Okay, somehow that thing has diverted west, which is going to be seeded and shocked to more rainfall because they're not content with the loss of lives. I mean, I hate to say this, friends, it sounds bizarre, but it's almost like that. And by doing so, actually pulls an open door for Jose to do his loop and make his run up the coast. Is it reality? I don't know. But let me say this, though.
I don't think that Irma's still heading west. I don't think it's still heading west because we got a little shot of rain off of it early yesterday. And then when I was watching the radars and stuff last night, it looked like it was all pushing back over toward Tennessee and stuff. It was leaving.
Yeah, it all pushed back the other way.
So it's getting ready to run up to the East Coast.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to tell everybody thank you if you did pray for my dad and my brother. They made it. They were right on the east side of Tampa, and they weathered it out. They dropped down to a 1 at that point. They're without power right now, but they're safe. That's a good thing, Prince. So there's a little shine there, but
that heat's got to be brutal, though, man. All these places that were without power, the heat down there is going to be fucking brutal.
Well, yeah, they said the whole West Coast side has got to be completely rebuilt.
Yep.
The whole power grid is completely gone.
And I got to tell you, folks, I know that Irma was the largest hurricane ever recorded in the Atlantic Basin and had the longest sustained winds and blah. We talked about all that last week. But I got to say this. Once it got on shore, it dissipated rapidly, okay? Yep. It dissipated extremely rapidly, down to 60-mile-an-hour winds, which is nothing but a strong tropical storm. They run through that shit all the time. The devastation that thing caused when it ran up Florida is a prime flag for you people as to the degradation of the infrastructure of this country and how long it has been since they have done any kind of updating to the power grid, to the phone systems, to the cable systems, whatever, fucking roads, whatever, you name it. They have been leaving it lie, and this is the cause. You know, this is the end result. You get a little storm like this. Now, I'm not going to say it's little. Okay, everybody's going to jump down my fucking throat saying it was the biggest thing ever, but it wasn't.
No, Cuba pretty much ripped it apart.
Yep.
Hey, thank you, guys. Hey, Dan says he's going to get hooked up so he can get on with us. Another thing happened to that storm was it was so damn big that by the time it hit land, all the water that it had consumed, it dumped it right back into the Gulf, into the Atlantic. It lost its punch, and that was not what they planned on. They planned on it running along the Gulf and doing more damage by continuing the uproar, but it never happened the way they planned it. If you watch how it jogged around, they lost control of it. And see, they haven't perfected their destruction yet. They're working on it. They'll get good at it one of these days.
You watched them steer that storm around Houston, pull it offshore a couple times and bring it back on shore, make a little loop-de-loops and shit. They're doing another loop-de-loop thing with Jose right now out in the Atlantic, trying to get it lined up for wherever they want to drive it. You could see the projected path of Irma, how it kept going from the east side to the west side to the east side, up the middle to the west side, up the middle. They couldn't tell where it was fucking going to go because they whatever, man.
Well, they said with Jose today, I watched this one weather guy, man, and he said that, it has really no steering currents right now. It's just kind of drifting wherever it wants, and so basically, they're keeping it off the coast and letting it build up some steam before they send it somewhere.
They got to get Irma. They got to get the low pressure of Irma out of the way so that they can drive it wherever they want it without something else fucking with it.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened with Irma. That warm front came down out of Canada. That dry front came down out of Canada and started pushing all the moisture over to the Atlantic side and throwing it out in the water. So, and people are going to poo-poo this. They're going to say, "Oh, they can't make a fucking hurricane, and they don't know what the fuck." Okay, believe whatever you want to believe, man. The truth doesn't give a shit what you believe.
Well, they set up all these cellular and laser damn beam deals all over this country. Just put some new up down in all these regions. They're not zapping these storms for the hell, okay? And when you read some of the data, you'll understand. I'm not an electronic genius, but apparently the men of the past were pretty damn smart about it. And
they've been fucking with the weather since the early 40s. They've been seeding clouds and fucking with the weather since the early 40s. There's all kinds of white papers on it. There's, you name it, man. True Stream Media.
Flood the Ho Chi Minh Trail there in Vietnam with cloud seeding.
What was it? I saw one on True Stream Media did a video a couple days ago about an operation back in the 60s, I think it was, and they pushed a hurricane into the coast of Georgia and killed somebody and did $4 million worth of damage. So, they've been doing this shit for a long time. They know what the hell they're doing. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, all them lights you see in some of those videos, the lightning and then the different colors of light, ain't all transformers blowing up. Trust me, friends. No. That was lasers being shot into the air to control that.
But the lights down in Mexico, you talking about before the earthquake? All the strange lights down in Mexico before the earthquake, they were trying to blame that on transformers popping and stuff but they were happening like an hour and a half before the ground started shaking. People started seeing strange lights out in that direction, and it's electrical. This whole entire planet is electrical frequencies, different frequencies of different. That's what they were seeing. They were seeing the static that was being built up in the earth because shit was rumbling down deep and progressively getting higher in the ground. So those lights have been reported for years and years.
If electronic item like a phone or a tablet can hook up to a modem wirelessly across the other side of your house, they can do shit, man.
Oh yeah. I'm waiting to see their latest Project Bluebeam thing. I full on believe that they are going to do this disclosure thing and make everybody think, what the fuck, man? Fucking gnat flying around, living in the woods. Sorry.
This 5G is going to set it in motion because everything's going to be 5G soon. And what they're going to do is they're going to show you how they can take different kinds of sand, black sand, and create what they call it, holograms. People standing in front of you. I mean, this is already in the works. It hasn't been released to us, but they can do this.
Yeah,
we already seen some of this when they did that one report where that one person was standing there and it was just a hologram and talking to them. She was somewhere in another location. Okay, well they're gonna make this so you can actually have right there on the desktop, and this sand will come up and create that image of the person, and you'll be talking to them. You won't need a monitor anymore. You'll have live. That's how far we've gone with this crap.
Demon seeds. Little black crystals. That's the only thing when people start talking about black goo or black crystals, that's just demon seeds, man. This computer that I'm looking at, Apple. I bought Apple because I got tired of people hacking into my shit, back in the day. So, whatever. These things are nothing but a scrying mirror. That's all they are. If you guys don't know what a scrying mirror, you need to go Google that and take a look at the black-faced mirror that you look in every time you look in your phone or every time you look in your computer screen or your big flat-screen TV on your wall. They're scrying mirrors. They're used for conjuring evil. They're just like a fucking Ouija board.
That's right.
So,
best thing you guys can do is at least once or twice a week take your shoes off and get grounded outside.
Yep.
Energize yourself. They're putting out a frequency right now that's changing your frequency in your body. There's a frequency that matches a heavenly, godlike frequency, and they are trying to destroy that and copy into one that makes you sick, makes you ill. There's people getting ill, and they're wondering why. Well, it's because of the frequency that they're generating through all the system.
Autoimmune disorders, shit that nobody can understand, nobody can explain. Oh, we don't know what's going wrong with your body. It's just falling apart. Well, there's reasons for everything. Todd just brought up in the room, hurry and go out and buy your new iPhone X. If you guys don't follow Richie from Boston, you need to go jump on his YouTube channel and check out his little rant about the iPhone X. And I think Luke Rudkowski from We Are Change just did one on it too. They're both very good. Phoenix iPhone X. If you do a little word jumble or a little letter jumble, it spells Phoenix, rising from the ashes. The Phoenix rising from the ashes. So, yeah, it was a big fail in their debut. The facial recognition failed to work when they did their little, I don't know, unveiling. But yeah. People are going to pay $999 for this phone.
$99. Well, I just got an ad through my email because I belong to the Apple bunch, and they sent that, and I kind of looked at it and didn't look at it because I know I don't mess with that stuff. Anything since a certain period of time with Apple, I try to stay away from. But, you can't get away from it all. I'm serious, friends.
Yeah. I try to use the technology against them. They put it out there for their consumption, for them to try to find out everything they can about us. But, they're going to find out whatever they want to find out about me. You guys can come do whatever the fuck you want to do to me. I feel sorry for the first guy that tries to come through the door. I hope he has his insurance paid.
My regards. I 100% behind that.
So I'm spreading my truth, man. And if you want to know who rules over you, look at who you're not allowed to talk about. Just saying.
That's the answer. Those are the ones. Those are the ones that are controlled by the one and the only, the one that rules the air and the earth.
Yeah, the reason that it's under $1,000, Mark, is because it's $999. Just like the very first Apple computer that came out was $666, right? Just flip the numbers over, right? So there's that. I don't know.
I won't pay $1,000 for a phone. That's ridiculous, man.
No.
Well, this thing on Saudi Arabia, this prince, this is unheard of, never happened before. He's going up to see Netanyahu, and we know this ain't going to be good. This ain't going to be good at all.
I've been saying for a long time, man, and I don't know who wants to believe me or who doesn't want to believe me, but the House of Saud, the Saudis, are nothing but another Jewish sect of people. If you take the robes off of them and the turbans off of them, and you look at their facial structure, you will see that the Saudis, Arabs, whatever you want to call them, are Jewish. Look at their face. Look at their bone structure. They're Jewish.
Look at true history. Look at true history. Every great war has had one of them clowns in it. Even the reason why the Marine Corps was brought together and made was because of them. Okay, there's a lot of history behind this stuff. And if we look deep enough into the Korean thing...
People don't look deep into shit. They're doomed to repeat it because they don't give a fuck. Human apathy...
Israel and Saudi are going to team up to fight Iran and Hezbollah.
Yep.
And Hamas. Saudi gave the finger to the Arabic world, man. They're a stooge of America. They're a stooge of Israel. And they don't give a shit about their Arabic brothers, man.
Nope.
They care about their own agenda, and that's it. That's the thing about the Saudis.
Money.
There's some hard-ass fucking people, man. They don't give a fuck about nobody but themselves and their own interests.
They'll cut their own people's head off in the middle of a fucking street.
Oh, any country that doesn't let women drive or have rights, man, that just tells you. I mean, I don't even think that's religious, not letting a woman drive a car.
There's
Well, not women to them. They are objects. They are
Oh
objects
yeah, that's all women are. There's objects to them, man. The
create
blonde-
children
yeah,
and to get off their rocks. That's plain and simple. Of course,
and cook.
they don't even women all the
clean.
time. They got goats and whatever means of doing that.
I think most of them are gay. In fact, I know from going overseas over in that area toward Kuwait and stuff, a lot of them are gay, man.
Let's move on to a different topic real quick.
You know,
What else you
We're going
got?
to get
what else
rabbit
you
hole
got?
here in a minute. It's going to get us in trouble.
some news just came out of South Korea.
Okay.
They've got what 6 THAAD launchers now set up. I believe, yeah, they got 6 now, and now they just said that they're going to allow Patriot missile battery to be set up right in the heart of Seoul
God.
here in the next few days.
The Patriot,
Yep.
the Patriot, the fucking software doesn't even work on the goddamn. Oh my God.
They're going to set it right in Seoul, so this war is getting closer. Is what I'm getting to
Okay,
here.
I want to know. And I haven't kept up with this THAAD system. Has anybody ever seen this thing actually fired? Can it intercept a missile at all?
We've done it off our Alaska 2 or 3 times already the past couple months.
Okay, there were reports out that they fired a THAAD, and you saw some kind of weird fucking footage of some shit off in space that blew up. But I've never seen one go from launch to intercept uncut. You know what I mean? Does the goddamn thing even work?
I don't know, man. You know, it's reported they've tried it 3 times, and all 3 times have been successful. So who knows?
Yeah, they tell us they fire ICBMs off to blow up islands all the time too, man. But you never see any footage of that shit. You just see reports of it. So I don't know. I question everything. I question our military's ability to fight any kind of war anywhere unless we're just pounding the shit out of people that live in sand huts. You know, anybody that has any kind of moxie to come back at us, we don't fuck with because we can't.
You know, I'll tell you the shape our government's in. You know, this just came out tonight, and I think it's hilarious. You know, H.R. McMaster there, he's the top national security guy, advisor for Trump. You know, Trump's been all over him to stop these leaks, all over him and Sessions. You know, we got to stop these leaks. So McMaster put out a memo to all the, you know, to certain people there in the White House. And what happened on stopping leaks, and what happened tonight, it got leaked out. That's the shape our fucking government's in, man. You're
We're a
putting out
joke,
a memo
man.
to these top people to how to stop leaks, and the memo gets leaked out to the press.
We're a joke. We're a joke on the world stage. Everybody that looks at this country and the administration laughs at us.
And that's what it says. H.R. McMaster memo on stopping leaks gets leaked. Went right to BuzzFeed News. They posted the whole memo.
Unreal, man.
It's crazy, man. I've never seen nothing like it.
Let me pull up my Twitter here and see what I got. We'll do a little story swap. You got anything you want to talk about, Vaughn?
No, I'm just kind of, I pretty well ran through some of the data that like I say, I've been busy doing other things. I changed a brake line on the Dodge truck and silly shit like that. But basically, I try to catch some reality, and if it doesn't seem to be real, I let it go. And there's been a lot of stuff that seems to be real, you know, and then stuff that's just like, what? Not again, you know. I mean, they're openly chemtrailing the hell out of the sky.
Oh my God!
And telling you how they're doing it and why they're doing it. And
we talked about that a couple weeks ago, and Richie from Boston had a really good video on that too. During the eclipse, they were chemtrailing the shit out of different areas of this country, and there was 100 million people outside looking up at that fucking sun, and they didn't say a goddamn word about them chemtrails. No, but you didn't see anybody. None of the videos that they were taking of nobody said shit about the chemtrails crossing the sky in front of that eclipse. So that's how stupid they've made this entire country.
Well, I was talking to an older couple at a funeral I went to. One of my Marines friends, his sister died. And this older couple, I said, did you realize there was no moon during the eclipse, and they raised their eyebrows. And I said, "Well, who rules the skies and the earth?" And they said, "Satan." I said, "Do I need to say more?" And that with that tone, they walked away. I don't know if I frightened them. I'm not quite sure what the data was on that response, but when they realized, yeah, this shit ain't good.
It's like, talking. Let's talk about the eclipse for just a second. I just got to get something off my chest. It's like nobody ever paid attention to physics in school. If you take what science, the God of science, told us in school, the moon is a big rock and the sun's a big rock that's on fire, right? Well, regardless of whether one of them's on fire or not, if one of them's putting out a light and you take another rock and you put it in front of the one putting out the light, it throws a fucking shadow. I never saw a shadow off of the moon as it was cruising across. You know what I mean? There should have been a shadow in the sky from that rock.
No shadow. And you would have had a cooling. Okay, here's the other thing that I was looking for in my video. You could see the energy rose instead of a cooling because the moon is cool, gives off cool light, air, or whatever the hell you want to call it once it reaches the earth, because it's not that far away. So therefore, it cannot be drawing anything from the sun, because anything the sun heats gets hotter than hell.
Right.
It don't get cool. So all you freaks out here that believe this Jewish science need to get educated, because you're lost. You're lost in the concept of reality and logic.
The thing that just blows me away, man, is that people will believe what they're told more than they'll believe what their eyes show them and their senses tell them. That's what fucking. And I gotta be honest with you. I was one of them until a few years ago, right? Until a year ago or so. I can't remember when Lance brought Flat Earth to me and made me believe, but damn, to know that I was that stupid for that long and didn't even believe my own senses, it was like an awakening like no other. It was like no other. Flat Earth changed my entire life.
Well, day after day, I used to, this is years ago, I did a daily report and an evening report. I'd go out and I'd shoot the sun. I felt the heat of the sun. I watched the sun get hotter and hotter, and the X flares and the sunspots and all that happy horse shit. And then at night, I felt the coolness of the moon. And logically, when I went to some of the weather deals, they talked about the sun heating up the moon giving off light, which logically did not make sense to me. And I physically felt there was something wrong back then. But as things progressed, like you say, now the reality hits you dead in the face. Everything you learned from a child up has been a falsehood. And that is getting worse. And I think here's the thing. As we wake up, more of us wake up, the more they are attacking us, because they don't want this to spread like a wildfire to the rest of the population. Because if everybody wakes the hell up...
That's why they put... that's why they put Mark Sargent out there, and that's why they put Patricia Steer out there, and that's why they put all these other fake assholes out there. In the Flat Earth movement, there has been so many new channels come around that just dump video after video after video after. Some of them do 5 or 6 a day, trying to just flood, and it's all stupid. Oh God, whatever. At this point, I'm dying. I don't want to bitch about it no more. I know what I know in my heart. And whether or not you want to believe what the truth is, my truth, I try to tell you guys the truth, right? As good as I can find it. If you don't want to believe at this point, I really don't care. I really don't care. If you want to believe it, believe it. If you don't. You're going to suffer the consequences, right? It's like people that want to believe in Christ or not believe in Christ. One day, you're going to believe.
That's the one that's going to get them. That's the cue here. Okay, I believe a lot of this was awakening to people, and even those that are admitting that, they're just talking bullshit to get their fan club going.
Right.
But the reality is, I believe the Lord is trying to give those that are willing to wake up and repent and go to Jesus Christ as their Savior. The time is running out. We are seeing man has manipulated a lot of this bullshit because of Satan. But you got to remember who the ruler is, who is control, who, and if it ain't in his damn time, it ain't happening. And man wants it to happen in their time, like war and everything else. But the Lord can change that course, And as a population, if we don't get back to the Lord, we're going to see more shit happen in this country real soon.
We're going to see it one way or another. We're going to see it one way or another. There's nothing that's going to change the course of history right now. Nothing. He's coming back, and he's coming back pissed off. So,
Amen.
This is. I'm just at this point. I'm kind of just sitting back watching. It's like getting a ticket to the fight. I'm going to sit in the front row and watch it go. Probably going to get splattered with some blood when a couple of good shots get taken. But hey, I intend to make it through this. I have every intention of making it through this. I have planned for this for years. So that's and I'm just going to keep doing my thing until they shut everything off, or until they strike my channel down or whatever the fuck they're going to. I don't think they're going to, because I'm too small and I want to stay that way. So, they can just keep overlooking me, and I'll keep speaking my truth. Harvey Dent, excuse me, Harry. Harvey Dent. Harvey Dent Returns is another really good channel on YouTube. If you guys haven't started following him, he's a good one. He's the one that's trying to let everybody know about the Federal Reserve and how they got a big-ass account in your name.
Right.
That's got a shit ton of money in it.
Right. What?
But anyway, he says something at the end of most of his videos that is just gold.
Right.
Until you find your truth, keep looking.
Well, it's like David's fighting the demon right now, okay? Satan has created some of this bullshit. David's fighting it. But you know what David's doing? Because David will not give in to it. David searches for information to share with us, okay? With his ability and his military background and stuff, he recognizes certain things that are important. Yet we have people come on here, and not a lot of people, but we've had them, that will, ha-ha and ba-ba this bullshit, Well, these are the things that each of us on this panel right now, and anyone else that joins, feel upon their heart to respond to, And it's a sharing. We're not here to change your mind. We're just showing you whether or not your heart is changed is between you and the Lord. And that I'm sure we all hope for.
Right.
We'd like to see you on the other side, guys.
I plan on being there. I got to say, there's a lot of people that are really disheartened about humanity. And there's a reason for that. There's very, very few that are going to be chosen to sit at the right hand of God. The 144,000 tribes. Now, if you want to expand that out to 1,000 people, it's not going to add up to 7 billion. So, that's why you see so much human apathy. That's why you see so many people that just don't give a shit about what you try to tell them when you try to wake them up. They just don't give a shit because they're not one of the chosen.
And you don't think for one moment it don't piss us off to watch the old people suffer? And here's the other kick, that all these people are going to these big churches and stuff and being misled on purpose for gain and whatever hell else they're getting, because they know what they're doing.
Satan's got a lot of power, man. Satan's got a fucking ton of power. So he'll keep them asleep until he takes their souls. That's just the way it's going to go. It's all written down already. The prophecy's all written down already. Everything that's coming to pass right in front of our faces has been written in the Bible for centuries. So this is nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. Nothing. It's happened before. It's going to happen again after this round. That's just the way it goes on this planet. I think that we're here on this plane of existence for a reason. We're here to learn a lesson, and we keep coming back here until we learn that lesson, and then we're allowed to move on to the next dimension, to the fourth, or whatever's past this one, right? We get to go to paradise. We get to be in heaven. Because you hear people tell you all the time, I heard it since I was a kid, heaven on earth, man, this is heaven on earth. You turn a corner on a road in the middle of nowhere, and there's this big, beautiful emerald lake, and there's green trees everywhere, and it's just quiet and peaceful, and it's heaven on earth. There's little pieces of that around here to let us know what's coming, But you gotta pay your dues first, man. You gotta learn the lesson before you get to go there and stay there.
I think we're showed those things just for calming, so we can deal with the rest of this crazy insanity. I'm serious. The insanity. Wow, what's going on up there in North Dakota? I heard there's some more craziness going in North Dakota again.
Like what?
Did you guys
Isn't there
ever?
something going on with the transgender stuff or this transvestite bullshit or some crazy stuff up there?
Yeah, it's on the news here and there, And this is a real conservative state. So, this state up here, we're only second behind West Virginia in supporting Trump. So, it's the Trump nation up here.
Speaking about supporting Trump, I saw another one today. CNN had a cat on that was being interviewed by a local ABC station at first for saving a baby. I guess he saved a baby down in the floods down in Florida or something. I think that's where it was. I'm not sure. But anyway, so CNN wants to grab up on this ABC report and get it out too, right? So they call this cat and have him sit down in front of his computer and do a little Skype interview with him. But he's got a Make America Great Again shirt on or a Trump for President shirt on or something like that. So they fucking smoke out the shirt while they're talking to him on CNN. They got the little blob over his shirt so that you can't read what it says. But on the ABC interview, you see it clear as day. It's just go ahead.
Wasn't the Slade song started today? The Star Spangled Banner, the Slade song. That's what
It's
I call
10 o'clock.
all this stuff that we seem to want to celebrate is we're actually bowing down to the devil. I mean, I hate to say that, friends. We need to get our heads in the right place and get away from some of this craziness. Everything that we think is right is wrong, and everything that's wrong is right in their world. They want everything their way, and more people seem to be falling down that path. It's just crazy. Every movie I seem to watch here lately, now I've been watching some movies, they're leaning towards pedophile. They're leaning towards anything that's perverted that they can, and the zombie thing's coming back on. There's a rumor that they've been spraying some agent for zombieism. I guess that's what you'd call them. I have no idea. I have no clue to this, but when it comes, I'm sure we're going to know.
Yeah, it's a crazy world out there right now, man. I tell you what. You see the best in humanity when the worst comes out, but you also see the worst of humanity too, right? I mean, you saw in the Harvey and in the days after Harvey, you saw people come from all over the fucking country to come down there and help those people and get them out of their homes and try to do what they could, bring food and water and blah, blah. And then the government stepped in and started fucking shit up. And the same thing's going to happen down in Florida now. You watch. The people, for the first couple of weeks, the people are going to be helping each other out and recovering from this thing until FEMA gets their feet on the ground, and then they're going to start fucking shit up. It's the way it always goes, because they don't have our best interest in heart. They just don't. If you haven't figured that out by now, you got a long way to go. You got a long way to go.
Well, pretty soon what'll happen in natural disasters is they'll tell you, they won't allow civilians to help other civilians, and
right.
The government will say, well, we'll help the civilians, but then tell the civilians before they get a fucking bottle full of water, you got to take this chip in the top of your fucking hand first before we give you this water.
Right, we got to make sure we know how much water you've already had so that you don't get more than your fair share.
They'll start doing that shit, man.
But then you see the worst in humanity too, right? You saw the looting going on down in Florida as the hurricane was still going on. People just kicking doors in and stealing anything they can get their fucking hands on. They weren't looking for food, They weren't trying to feed their kids or anything like that. They were grabbing shoes and TVs and fucking jewelry and cell phones and whatever they could get their hands on. It's just, it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
You had those two try to steal that light pole on top of their car?
Yeah. Yeah, gonna take and cut it up for scrap. Try to sell for
That's
scrap.
true. Like no one's not going to notice a big old fucking light pole strapped to the hood of your car driving down the road.
It's just and it's gonna get worse. You watch.
Idiocracy is crazy in this nation.
You watch the Florida thing over the next couple of weeks. We're gonna watch this. There's going to be some horrific stories coming out.
I know.
Like today in Hollywood, Florida.
I just posted a story in my group here, of a U.S. Army Black Hawk landing in Key West over there giving out supplies, because the deal is they can't drive supplies in from Florida there because the
Route 1
roads
closed.
is blocked.
Yeah, they got US 1 closed. They're not letting anybody in.
So the military's having to come in and bring food. And this one dude on there with his daughter was crying in this video. He's like, he said, I stayed. I thought we could ride it out. I was wrong. I should have freaking left. And, I guess it's really bad. They said once you get, north of the Keys, Florida, Key West, they said those little keys got wiped out over there.
Yep. They were 160 mile an hour sustained winds for hours while that thing was going over. So
well, let me say one thing here. If you watch what's transitioned here since the one in Louisiana, it's been a flex of the American ability of the military to control and contain and tell the American people, which is totally against the Constitution or totally against anything that's humane, of how we should talk, how we should act, and how we should be, and how we should religiously think about things. I mean, they even quoted the Bible. Some Christian leaders went down there and quoted the Bible, that they need to listen to the leaders and not themselves and not what's in their heart. Now, if we, as a human people here in America, continue this path, we're done. They will have us. And it's a test. Each time is a test of how far they can push us. And they're continuing doing it.
Yeah. Sandy just asked in the room if anybody's been watching Reed Timmer's AccuWeather videos. He's been posting a lot of videos about the damage and stuff, because he was down there on Key West when it went through. He rode the storm out down there on Key West. And he went around today and started videotaping a lot of the survivors. That's because there's no cell phone service or anything, hardly. People lost all their shit. I mean, they don't have anything to try to get a hold of their family that lives back on the mainland. So he was going around videotaping people and getting it posted up to AccuWeather, letting them know who made it. And
would ham radio work in that situation?
Oh yeah, so long as the antennas made it, But even still, you can jerry rig antennas up, and as long as you get that sumbitch up over the roof of your house, you can get out.
Well, they talk on long wire, a lot of them anyway, at a different frequency. So all they need is a long wire. Hell, they can tie to that fence line or a cable.
Yeah, or throw it up in a tree. Get it up over a tree limb. So, yeah, this ham radio is really good. Shortwave, a lot of people got shortwave systems in their houses, too. There's just a little pole antenna. It's probably about 25 inches long or something up in the attic. And that's the only antenna they need, so...
Did you see that big ugly ass sea creature washed up in Texas City after Harvey?
I saw it in passing. I didn't stop and read the article or look at the picture in any kind of detail or anything. What do they know what it was?
Fuck no! It's got it thing's massive too. It's got like a body of a whale almost and a head of a porpoise with shark like teeth and everything in it, and thing's massive too, and it just washed up in Texas City there on the beach. All it's decaying and everything.
Wow.
Well, think about what you just said, David. Could that have been drawn out down there off of the South America and forced to come up north?
It could have, man. It's amazing what's in the ocean that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Could it have been developed at Plum Island and released into the ocean?
The thing was freaky looking, man. I used to really be interested in the ocean and stuff, and I've watched a lot of National Geographics, and we'll never know. They said the amount of species of different fish and stuff like that in the ocean, we'll never know. They said there's always a species of something we don't know about.
Yeah, they only want to tell you about the ones that are disappearing. They don't tell you about the ones they don't know about, right?
No, until they wash up on beaches like this, and they're like, "What the fuck is that?"
Right. It's just like they try to convince everybody that carbon is deadly to the earth, when carbon is what plants eat to make oxygen. Did nobody pay attention in high school at all? That's fucking grade school stuff. Carbon dioxide, trees eat it, plants eat it, grass eats it, and they produce oxygen from it. That's their food. Carbon dioxide is their food. If you guys want to know why the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is going up, it's because we've been deforesting Central America forever, since before I was born, cutting down the trees and shit, taking the lungs out of the planet. That's why the carbon footprint of everybody's going up.
Yeah, you need
Dirt.
trees, man, and plants and everything else.
Right. The amount of stupid out there just blows me away. It absolutely blows me away. People will believe a 30-second soundbite more than they'll believe things that they've known all their life.
Well, let's look at what was just said. They know that they could have took the hemp plants and done better by tree than destroying trees, and we already understand that weathering, you're better off in a concrete reinforced building than you are in a stick building. And actually, there's other better insulation and better building material than cutting down all the damn trees.
Right.
Why in the hell do we got to destroy the thing that takes carbon monoxide and creates oxygen and destroy that level? Okay?
Well,
that's just a level of insanity.
A suppressed technology. Yeah, it's suppressed. They've known about cannabis for a long, long, long time. And they knew that it was a plant put here by the Creator to help cure people and provide for people. It tells you that in the Bible too. All the plants with seeds, all the seed-bearing plants are yours. Okay, let's suppress technology. How about Raymond Rife? How about Rife's technology? He knew decades ago that frequency would kill cancer. It could be destroyed with isolated frequencies. And now the technology's finally coming back around. They're going to try to make everybody think that it's brand new technology. We just found out that you can do this with. No, the technology's been out there forever. They just suppress it because they want us under their thumb.
And you're absolutely correct, because it's already been proven with the right frequency, you can change the mood of people. You can heal aches and pains of people.
Yep.
And
you can make them see things. You can make them think things.
Yes.
You can make them feel different. All kinds of shit. Yeah. They know. How do you think they're keeping 300 million people in this country suppressed? If everybody was thinking the things that I'm thinking, if everybody in this country was thinking the things that I'm thinking right now, people would be in the streets rioting. They'd be burning down government buildings and shit, because that's what I feel like doing, to be honest with you. You people been fucking keeping us pushed down for so long. It's unbearable now. It's unbearable. It's to the point of I don't care what the government says anymore. I don't care what they want me to do with my life, because it's my life.
Well, that's why they went from VHF to UHF, because of the change of the frequency and where they can go with that.
That's why they went to flat screen televisions too.
Right.
Everything went digital so that they could have even sharper control over it.
We don't know what's hidden behind that stuff. And the ears may not be capable of hearing some of the frequency they're feeding us. And just a lot of things. You can tell. You can tell by the mood swing of your animals. If you're a TV watcher, I'm sure your animals are going to be responding just like you, couch potato. Mm-hmm. It's just you should realize that.
Tesla tried to tell everybody back in his day, if you want to know about the earth and about how things work, it's energy, frequency, and vibration, because it makes up everything. So, let's see what they're talking about. Sound waves are used as weapons too. Somebody in Cuba targeted our diplomats down there. Yeah, we talked about that several weeks ago. They were hitting them with a sound cannon. Chris says, I wonder if there's a reason for all the commandment not to fix or not to mix fibers for our clothes, all linen or all cotton or all wool, but don't mix. Is that protection?
You know,
I
she
never
has
thought about that.
there because
I've never
think
thought
she-
about that. Go ahead.
I think she has something there because years ago you could buy Fruit of the Loom 100% cotton. You cannot buy anything 100% cotton anymore. And don't tell me they don't still got cotton. They've changed it because your body breathes better with cotton on. I know it for a fact. I've got some old T-shirts that are 100% cotton, and then these new multi-fabric bastards, your body doesn't breathe properly. You know,
Yeah.
you don't. It just doesn't work right. So she has a point there to not to mix the fibers of wool and cotton. You know, there's a reason for those to be separated. I believe that.
That's something I'm gonna have to look into, Chris. I never even thought about that. That's something I got to tell you. They're trying to add spandex into everything. They got spandex in your T-shirts. They got spandex in jeans now. They got spandex. You know, everything's going to some kind of. They want it. It's like they want everybody to be constricted. They want all of our bodies constricted. You know, I was showing my T-shirt earlier, man. You can see my nipples through the shirt. And I stretched it out before I put it on. You know, I usually put my shirts on and then I pop them a couple times, stretch them out a little bit. Not anymore. They don't stay stretched out. They want to suck to your body. I don't have one of those big Adonis bodies, man. I don't like to show my shit off. So, you know, my man boobs are private.
Private man boobs.
Dan, I don't know if you're still listening or not, man, but yeah, I'm kind of foul-mouthed. You know, I speak my mind. I don't try to sugarcoat anything, and I don't know if that offends you or if you were trying to listen in front of your kids or anything like that. I apologize. This is an adults-only show. I think I've got that up on my YouTube as an adults-only show, 18 and up. But, yeah, I hope that doesn't offend you, man. I'd like to get you on sometime. I think you guys would like hearing Dan. If you haven't listened to any of his YouTube videos, I think you'd like to hear what he has to say. The intelligence that comes out of his mouth, just, it boggles me how he gets his words.
Well, I've talked to him on the phone. You know, I've got his personal phone number, and I've talked to him on the phone. And as you hear him on YouTube, he's the same person. He is who he is.
Yep.
He's no bullshit, and he don't take no bullshit. He
tried
calls
to-
it like he sees it. And people that don't like it, you know, that's too bad because, you know, right now he's in a bad situation. People got to understand that. He's either going to get a part-time job or continue what he's doing and get a few donations. Okay. Everybody in America is almost in that state right now and more so
Because
going
there's no
to have.
jobs to be had, man.
He's got kids. He's
Yeah.
got kids. He's homeschooling them. So, you know, is he different than anyone else? No, Daniel doesn't want to be different than anyone else. He wants you to realize he's like the mass group out here that are trying to teach their children the proper way of morals and life and not be misguided by the bullshit from the government.
Right. He tried to, he put out a video today. He tried to go to his fire department and talk to some of the firefighters about what happened on 9/11 and what they thought about Building 7 coming down and stuff, you know. He was just going to ask them some basic questions, telling, you know, I'm trying to homeschool my kids and they're asking questions, so I thought I'd bring it to you. There was no public access to his public fire department. When he went there, everything was key card locked, no windows, no lobby, nothing. No way for him to even get in and talk to anybody.
Wow, that's just totally crazy. I know they do have a chapter in their manual about aliens. I do know that. I've been told that, you know, and I thought, really? And who took the time to put that in there? So how are you going to deal with aliens? That's crazy.
Because they know first responders are going to be the first ones on the scene when people start calling up and saying, hey, man, there's this big silver thing that landed in my backyard and creatures coming out of it and whatever. Yeah. So, well, I'm sure it says stand back and call the FBI. We're from the federal government and we're here to help.
Yeah, call the X-Files.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we're into the second hour, almost 20 minutes. Let's get back into some news and stuff. I you know, it's rabbit hole on this show anymore. We're not gonna just stick on talking about world events and stuff like that. There's too many things going on right now that people need to pay attention to. So from now on, the shows are going to be quite rabbit hole-ish, and we're going to be talking about a lot of different things. And buckle your seatbelts, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Dan, what's on your stack of stuff over there?
Dan. Who's Dan?
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking about Dan. I want to get him on the show so bad that I'm sitting here thinking about him, hoping that I get a Skype thing from him saying, hey, add me up. David, what's on your stack of stuff over there? My bad.
Well, you had that school shooting today in Spokane, Washington. That didn't get a lot of press because of everything else. And
one kid killed.
One dead, 3 injured. And they arrested the shooter and said that he did it because he was getting bullied. And so he went in there with 2 guns. The first one jammed, so he pulled out his second one and just started shooting people with that. The kid that got killed tried to subdue the guy and got shot and killed in the process.
Yep.
And like I said, 3 others injured, but they arrested the kid and he'll be going to prison for a long time.
This was organic. If you people don't understand that, this was an organic event because the media wasn't there.
Yeah.
The FBI wasn't first on scene, and they didn't have helicopters flying around showing all the students running for their lives and shit. So this was organic.
The real ones don't get a lot of press coverage.
Right. I got to say something about being bullied. I grew up as a redhead with the last name of Funky. My last name is Funky. If anybody doesn't know that for a fact, it's Funke. That's how my name is spelled. I was bullied mercilessly until I got into about junior high. I didn't kill anybody. I didn't go to school with guns or knives or try to get revenge on people, I just knew who to stay away from. Some people didn't like me, so I didn't hang out with them. They like to talk shit about me, whatever. The pussification of men, boys in this country is off the charts, man. They are turning our boys into the biggest bunch of sissy fucking skinny jean, man bun wearing. I see a lot of posts from girls on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and they're all looking for men. Why can't I find a real man? Try looking at the fucking people that you've been brought up with, man. The men of your generation are a bunch of half of fags.
Yeah, the women these days like the guys in the skinny jeans and the fucking...
Until the spider comes into their bathtub and the guy runs out screaming like a bitch, right? Right. Whatever, man.
They like the Justin Biebers and the type of guys like that these days, all kind of feminine. And
until they need to be protected. That's what I'm saying. Until they need to be protected. And then where's that guy? He's the first fucking guy under the bed. Look, even this is 20 years ago for me. 20 years ago, I was turning up on people's calls because I was down in Houston running a wrecker. I was turning up on calls with 30-year-olds. 30-year-old men couldn't change their own fucking tire on their cars.
We got police people right now that are running the streets aiding such causes because they don't know how. What in the fuck have they done? Okay, these school shootings, let me tell you something, what they've done in the programming of that. These kids have been introduced to drugs. We have no clue what the long term is on what it's going to do to them.
Nope.
So if it's feminizing them to a point that they're going psychotic, then we need to be looking at the pharmaceutical. Well, we already know to look at the pharmaceutical. But like Jim said, I grew up at a time when you took an ass whipping, you got on with it, okay? Or you give the ass whipping, whichever way it went.
Right.
Now they're going to vicious means. They're actually killing people, okay? Where in the hell has this country gone to? Well, it reports right back to the same situation. We're in a hell of a lot of problems.
Yep. It's the end times, man. If you can't see it for what it is, God help you. because he's the only one that's going to be able to. You know, if the truth can't reach you now, I got nothing for you. Sorry about your luck. You know. But then again, I fall back to what I know now. There's going to be very few people that are actually going to be. There are very few out there that are going to have eyes to see and ears to hear. That's the way it's put in the book. So that's that.
Well, I live in a little town, and it's got a lot of mixed because of Ball State, and I have seen more and more of the misguided on the streets, walking the streets. It used to be, we had a little street over here called Walnut, and that's where the girls that needed money would go. Okay, this is years ago. Well, you don't see too much of that anymore. Now it's the other way around. They're looking for the same sex, and there's vultures out there that are. When you see a nice car pull up and a young fella gets in it, and then an hour later he's getting dropped off, now what the hell's going on? Sure, he's taking him out for an ice cream. Yeah, right.
Right. You were talking about that earlier. You were seeing a lot of, in the movies and stuff that you're watching, a lot of pedophilia, and this is what I'm seeing when I see these commercials, because I don't watch movies, I don't watch TV, but when I'm seeing these commercials and stuff that are on YouTube, because I suffer through some of them for the people, they get paid for the ads. I watch the ads. I'm seeing pedophilia being pushed. I'm seeing transhumanism being pushed. I'm seeing necrophilia being pushed out there. I'm seeing cannibalism being pushed out there in some of these movies. I don't know. I shake my head at the stuff that Hollywood puts out, man. It's either a shitty remake of something that I saw back in the 80s that sucks now because they remade it because they have no original thought, or it's just a bunch of demonic bullshit.
When you said something about Dan put out that video, where are all these cows? I love that video Dan Pratt put out because it makes you question where the hell are all these cows and all the hamburger we're supposed to be eating.
Right. That was a good one too. Let's see. I'm going to read through the room here. I think wool and linen have the same vibration rate or something. Cancels each other out, maybe, he said, about the fibers and stuff. Mark says BPA leaches from plastic products, water, milk bottles, etc., soda. Yeah, soda's been in aluminum cans since I was a kid. And we all know what aluminum does to us, right? Nanoparticulate aluminum just settles in the middle of our brains and makes us stupid as fuck. Yeah. Let's see. Boog says, when I was younger, I was always learning to do shit, changing oil on trucks and cars and carpentry, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, none of that stuff in school anymore. Future Farmers of America, FFA, used to be big when I was in high school. Everybody wanted to be out on the farm and learning how to run machinery. And then you had farm ag products, and that's where you went to learn how to weld and build shit and bend steel. And they don't do none of that crap in fucking, it's all computers and text your buddy and sext your girlfriend and post the shit on Facebook and what are you eating for dinner tonight? You better take a picture of that and put it up on your Instagram. And, is your cat scratching his balls? Or, it's just, fuck, whatever. BPA and the entire line of products are estrogen mimickers. That's why all these kids are fucking fat asses with man boobs. Right? That's why they don't know what bathroom they're supposed to go in anymore. It's over, people. The time is up. Time is up. If we have a decade left, we're going to be lucky.
Did you hear about that one fast food worker at McDonald's tried to kill her own kid in California today?
No.
Oh, it's disturbing, dude. Disturbing. This fast food worker, she's been charged with trying to kill baby in the bathroom in McDonald's.
Unbelievable.
Since the California prosecutor said Wednesday that a fast food restaurant cashier gave birth to a baby girl while at work and tried to kill her by flushing her down the toilet. And it says she was 25. She's being charged with attempted murder after the newborn survived, but they don't know if it's got brain damage or not. But it said this girl this girl went to work at this McDonald's complaining of stomach pains and visited the bathroom numerous times. It says a co-worker discovered a large amount of blood on the bathroom floor and peered over the stall to check on the girl. The co-worker told investigators she saw a baby face down the toilet bowl, and the girl that gave birth to it was pushing on the baby's back while flushing the toilet.
Unbelievable.
You know, this is just what's happening, man. Sickness is just, I mean, people are just fucking evil, man. That's no different than those people, you know, trying to cut that baby out of that woman up here that they killed. You know,
that's evil. I think that this girl just has no humanity. Her humanity has been completely removed from her. She is merely a vessel that consumes oxygen and food. She has no humanity whatsoever.
Yeah, because hear stories like this, you think I watched stuff like that on Shock Theater because it was a dramatic thing to see back in those days. But this is really actually happening. This is not a freaking movie. This is reality.
This is reality.
People have lost their souls.
Yes. Well, that's it. And, you know, as a news person, you know, I'm a news guy. I follow the news all day long. And you know, I got a pretty long Twitter feed of people I follow and this and that and different news agencies. And, you know, I follow mainly the war news and some of the political stuff. But you see the stories like this come across, man. And you see how sick, not just America, but this world is, man. And it's just, sickness is just overtaking this place. So, you know, I tell myself that maybe we're living on hell right now, that maybe we just don't realize that this is hell.
I'd said that a bunch of times, man. Look, it tells you in the Bible that Satan was given control of the earth for a time. So if Satan's in charge here, what does that make this place?
Exactly. You know, you see these stories like this.
We live in hell.
Say, you can't dismiss this stuff as, they're crazy and all this other shit. It's just, it's a sickness I see come across my Twitter feed all the time with off-the-wall stories like this.
The thing that really just eats me alive is that there are millions of people like that on this planet. Yeah, and that's why...
Walking around amongst you. They could be your neighbor.
That's why we're in the shape that we're in. That's why the collective consciousness of this planet is straight evil. It's nothing but about...
If you people out there one moment don't think that these kind of people won't eat you, wait till things get bad enough. They will be eating you alive because they would rather eat you alive because you're fresh.
That's why I think they're pushing the whole cannibalism thing on everybody. You know, you're seeing it on TV shows. They're eating people's brains and hearts and whatever the fuck, you know, making dinner out of them and whatever. You're seeing it in the movies. You saw it on the news when the whole Pedogate thing came out with the fucking spirit cooking shit. You know, they're putting it in your subconscious so that when you start seeing stories about people eating each other, because when the first guy come out down in Florida, that cat that was running down the interstate naked and grabbed the homeless dude and ate his face off, right? Everybody in this country was flipping the fuck out on that one, right? Everybody's like, God, he's ate his face. Now, not so much. Because it's in the collective conscience now, right? You've been seeing it in movies. You've been hearing about it on the radio, stories and stuff. You know, it's in the collective conscious now. So,
and that takes you back to time. I can relate to this back in the early 60s when I was in Chicago and walking along and seeing the homeless and seeing dead bodies lie while people walk by. Okay, here's what they've done to the humanity now. You will actually see somebody eating somebody and you'll just walk on by. Oh, well, that's okay. It's not me.
Speaking of walking by, I saw a story a couple days ago of a girl down in India somewhere, I think, that gave birth right in the middle of the street, standing in the middle of the street. Baby laying on the ground in between her legs, umbilical cord running up into her People just walking by and driving by. No big deal, right? Some chick giving birth right in the middle of the fucking street. No big deal. The end can't come fast enough, if you really want to ask me my opinion.
Well, I tell people, that they're pushing for a civil war in this country, even regular people.
They're
We don't
gonna
want
get
a
it.
civil war in this country, man, because, like this girl here and like the people up here that tried to cut the baby out of that lady, you're going to have these people just going crazy, man, once society breaks down. It's going to be zombies everywhere.
They're already out there.
Yeah, they're everywhere, and it's going to be even worse. And it'll be even worse in a civil war type situation or civil uprising in this country. It'll be the most brutal thing this world's ever seen when this country totally breaks down.
What about this chick? Okay, this came out today. The chick driving the Porsche that was parked at 3 a.m. blasting her stereo and shit, woke the homeless guy up. He walks over and bitches at her and says, go down the road or whatever. I'm trying to sleep over here. So she gets out of her car with a gun and shoots the motherfucker.
Yeah, I read that.
And then drove away.
Yep.
And her daddy, some kind of shithouse lawyer down in Texas, wants to say, "Oh, she was scared for her life. She wasn't even looking when she pulled the gun out. She was closing her eyes and just shooting random." Stupid, man. I hope that they fucking hang this bitch, man. I hope that she goes to prison for about 50 years for attempted murder.
This lady in McDonald's there that tried to kill her baby, she's being held on $11 million bond.
Good.
$11 million.
Never fucking get out.
Making sure she can't get out.
That's right. Oh, and what about the Seattle mayor that resigned after the 5th allegation of child molestation came out against him? One of his own kin, one of his cousins, he was fucking him in the ass when the kid was 14 years old. Just disgusting.
Well, we have one here in town. Listen to this. It came in over the news broadcast that a guy was driving down the street in a pickup truck with his gal. Well, they apparently got in an argument. He shoves her out of the truck going down McGalliard, which is a main street, 40 miles an hour. She hit the pavement so hard she busted her skull open, 10 stitches to sew it up. She's got fluid on her brain, and she's scalded all over her body. His response was to the officers, he showed them a nice grassy mall that she fell down in. Please, will you please wake up, people?
Now, what about that Ted Cruz liking porn on Twitter? He tries to say it's one of his staffers. I'm like, bullshit, it's probably you, man.
Oh, God. He's the creepiest. So's his wife, man. His wife is just a creepy looking. Oh, God damn.
This one site that I follow, they posted the Twitter of him doing it. The video he liked. And you go to that video, it's hardcore, man. 2 minutes of nothing but straight out fucking.
Yeah, and the chick standing there looking around the corner diddling herself or something. I saw a little screenshot off of it. I was like, what the fuck, man? Jeez. These are your elected officials, people. These are your elected officials. The Congress only has a 3% approval rating.
Because he tried to ban sex toys in Texas, trying to say if you get caught with a sex toy, it was a jailable offense.
The Congress and the Senate, they only have a 3% approval rating. How the fuck are they still in power? How the fuck haven't they been turned over? 3%. 3 out of 100 people give a shit about what Congress and the Senate say. Why are they still there? Why haven't they been changed? If only 3 out of 100 of you like the motherfuckers, why don't you get them out of office? Why don't you just do away with them?
October 1st, they're supposed to all bail, and the UN's going to take over.
Oh, please, man. The first blue helmet I see come over my fucking knoll is, oh, God. No, that's going to go over like a fart in church. They're irrelevant. Our government is irrelevant on the world stage and doing shit in this country. They don't fix anything. They don't do anything worth a fuck. All they do is screw it up and take more money from you in doing it, right? The governments around the world look at our government and laugh their asses off because they are irrelevant.
Well,
I
yeah,
can't.
you talk about the government. Our Treasury Secretary is named. What's that? What's this dude's name here? Is Stephen Mnuchin. He
Mnuchin.
just got married, and he requested a government jet for his European honeymoon. Basically, had the taxpayer paid to send him and his fucking blood-sucking, gold-digging wife on a fucking honeymoon.
You know how they get away with it? They say, well, I got to have the entourage of Secret Service to keep me protected overseas in case some jackass wants to try to vent my brain, blah, blah, blah. That's how they get away with it. And then they're like, oh, yeah, that's true. You got to take 30 other people with you for your honeymoon to walk around and hold your fucking ass crack, whatever. Come on, man. Whatever. At this point, man, it just that kind of shit just goes in one ear and out the other. Our taxes that they collect from this country, they don't even pay 0.1% of the fucking interest on the national debt. So whatever, every bit of money that they spend, fucking let them spend it. They're just printing the shit anyway. This country's already done. If you people don't get it by now, $20
trillion in debt the other day.
Yeah, but that's just a scratch on the surface, dude. That doesn't even include the unfunded liabilities and stuff that are hanging over the top of this country that total $600 trillion fucking dollars.
Yeah.
So whatever. It's a joke. It's a joke. That's why I said, man, the end cannot come fast enough. I can't wait for the dollar to collapse. I can't wait.
Well,
it'll be
dropping the dollar for oil. It's going to real fast.
It'll be a very, very cleansing event for this country. It'll be rough as fuck for a long time.
I think that's why we're going to war with North Korea. I think that's the next step. They know they can't prop it up anymore, so the next step is to get a global war going.
Well, I feel bad for our troops, man, but the war that's really going to devastate this country is the war in this country.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be chaos here.
Yep. Hawaii, you guys might have a bad way, if Kim's got an actual missile that'll make it to you, or Alaska, the coast of Alaska, or maybe even the West Coast. I don't know. You guys might eat one or two. But damn, when the shit hits the fan and you got neighbor versus neighbor in the fucking street over a gallon of milk or clean water, that's going to be the bad one. That's good, but that's going to be the cleansing, and I think that's what the Creator's putting this planet through right now. You see all the floods and fires and disasters everywhere, the earthquakes and volcanoes going off. Nobody's talking about the volcanoes going off. There's still volcanoes going off all over the place. It's the earth is being cleansed a little bit at a time, and it's going to continue for years and years and years, man.
You notice the cold snap we've had? I mean, it's been unseasonably cool here.
Since the eclipse.
Yes.
The day after the eclipse, the temperature dropped here 15 degrees. We're going to go back up into the 90s for the next couple of days.
It's been in the 90s way up here. South Tech down toward Texas, Houston area, they've been in the 60s past couple of days. We've been in the freaking 90s.
It got down to 48 the other night.
I think, it's getting crazy, man, where the South is getting the cold weather now and the North is starting to get warmer weather.
Things are changing.
Yeah, we had 43 the other night. Last night, in fact, 43 degrees. But we were in that band where that eclipse made this little path from, the state of Washington all the way to South Carolina. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or anything.
I don't know. We were in the 90%. If I would have went out and looked, it was supposed to be 90% coverage here. So, because I wasn't too far away from the total coverage. But yeah, I don't know. Something's and 2 days after the eclipse on the August 23rd is when they started Operation Dark Skies or whatever. So I don't know, man. I'm just at this point. I don't want to try to guess my way through this shit, right? So I just sit back and wait for the facts to present themselves, and then bring it to y'all, whatever I see. I'm just sitting back watching. I'm an observer now. I'm a watcher, if you want to call me a watcher. There's a lot of guys out there that claim to be watchers that are so fucking clueless. It's just laughable. But hey, whatever. People got to do their own thing.
Yeah, because you got to watch how this stuff unfolds, and you got to realize where it's coming from and how it actually affects everything.
Yep.
And right now it's affecting everything. There's no way in the world anyone can say, "Have a nice day." Everything's just like it's normal.
Well, that's why I say we're heading for war with North Korea. I mean, it's every day that the media is pushing it now, both sides, CNN and Fox, left and right. They're pushing it, and it's been a slow build up, but it's picking up pace now, and shit's gonna go down with them, and this all ties in with hitting 20 trillion in debt. This has to tie in with FEMA running out of money. This has to tie in with everybody dropping the dollar for oil. This war is coming, and people cannot believe it or not. It's right around the corner, man. And every day I follow this stuff, and it's getting closer and closer. When you see Seoul saying they're going to move Patriot missile batteries into the heart of Seoul, shit's getting real.
Yep.
Japan's been ready to go, but and top of that, this has got the big one. You got Zapad 2017 that starts in a few hours with
That's
Russia. And our media's been pushing it as an invasion, that they're going to invade the Baltic states, Lithuania, and all them.
They've been moving a lot of NATO shit all the way around where they're getting ready to have this exercise too, man. Lithuania just took a bunch of NATO troops and.
Well, yeah, Sweden's having them just went into a major drill today. Yep. Lithuania went into a major drill today. More armor arrived over there, over in those nations today from America. Tanks, Humvees, you name it, man, bunch of it. Now, they've been building up for this drill that Russia's getting ready to have with Belarus for a year.
Yep,
NATO's been building up just in a panic mode.
There's a bunch of stuff put out today too about how hackers can take down the grid in the United States. Did you guys ever have you guys seen all that hitting?
Oh, there's been a lot of that out. There's been a lot on EMP from North Korea. Has been going crazy too.
Yeah, I saw the hacker thing. Did you catch that when that admiral said now that the storm has subsided, that they're moving 9,000 troops into to Florida?
Mm-hmm.
Moving the ships in and putting 9,000 troops into Florida. That's a lot of military guys.
That's what I said. The next couple of weeks is going to really pan out down in Florida. We're going to see what.
Well, they said outside of Florida and Georgia, every 40 miles, entrance ramps to the highways, they've got military checkpoints setting up now.
Are they preparing? Are they preparing for something that's coming from other places?
They're claiming that it's to keep looters out. They're only letting actual residents back into the state.
They say it's for looting, but the buildup they've got going in Houston, the buildup they've got going in Georgia, South Carolina, Florida. I mean, their military's running the place from Texas all the way to Florida almost.
Jade Helm's still in operation. And if you guys haven't noticed,
this is part of it.
Yeah, if you guys haven't noticed, all of the Harvey stuff happened right over Jade Helm's area of operation where they were.
All the stuff was pre-positioned for them too already.
Yeah.
All the equipment they needed.
Yeah. It just goes. That's another little notch in the facts of these storms being steered and put right where they wanted them. So.
I believe they're getting prepared for an invasion.
Well, that's it. You have these storms that gives the government a cover to say, well, this is why we need troops here. These places were decimated by winds or flooding. We need troops here to keep the looters out. When in fact, how do you know they're just not pre-positioning troops strategically throughout these parts of the United States and using these hurricanes as cover?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think it is. I think they're using them as cover. Now, I can understand the looting. Houston, is a big city to take care of, man, and parts of Florida, but I mean, they've got an aircraft carrier off the Florida Keys right now, man. An aircraft carrier, just like they used in Japan when they had Fukushima.
Yeah.
And so they've got an aircraft carrier. They got amphibious ships over there with combat marines right off the coast.
I bet the 15 that got injured today were training for some kind of thing to be deployed down there.
Probably.
They were in an amphibious vehicle, and yeah. Either that or something's getting ready to happen there was a huge, well, not huge, there was a 5+ quake off the coast of California today. Did anybody see that?
I caught that. Think of this. They're trying to push the population away from the 100-mile zone, non-constitutional zone around the United States on the coast, the east coast and southern coast of the United States, so they can gear it up for military defense, because they're once they're there and once they're set in place, they can't be demanded to leave. Even the governors can't tell them to go away.
Yep.
They have no constitution 100 miles within that radius.
And that's a ring around that's the coast and everything. You know, it's not just the borders for Mexico and Canada. It runs up and down the East Coast and all around the Gulf and around Florida. It's 100 miles inland. There's a constitutional free zone 100 miles from the coast or 100 miles from the edge of the U.S. I wonder if it's going to be there after Trump's wall is built.
Yeah, Trump's wall. Yeah, he better be building a wall around him.
That's crazy. It came out tonight. You know, Trump had dinner with Pelosi and with Schumer, and they agreed that with the DACA that they would come up with the bill, but that Trump isn't going to get his wall right now. And pretty much Trump said, "All right, if that's what it takes."
Yeah.
So he's not going to get his wall anytime soon, if any time while he's in office.
I think they're prepping to assassinate him. There's been quite a few lockdowns on the White House over the last couple of days. I think something's getting ready to happen at the White House.
There's a scuttlebutt. The next Democratic nominee is going to be Michelle Obama. I said that a long time ago, but apparently she's been doing a lot of public speaking.
Oh yeah, Obama come out today with the big thing that he come out officially announced that, you know, he's going to be basically running the Democratic Party for the next election and everything. And
has Michael Obama hidden all of his records from, you know, college and stuff yet? Because that'll be the dead giveaway when he starts hiding his sex change and all of his college shit and, you know, playing football and everything. That's going to be the dead giveaway that he's getting ready to run as a female. Because that's a transgender motherfucker if you've ever seen one in your life.
Keep that bitch out of tight dresses because you're going to see his schwanz.
Man, I'm telling you what, he's bigger than Obama. He's bigger than Barry Soetoro. Taller, wider shoulders, bigger hands, bigger muscles in the arms. The guy's built with tits. Right? I mean, that was some serious fucking surgery. But still, all you got to do is look at the body structure, man. The body structure don't lie. It don't lie.
So what do you think about that Equifax releasing everybody's information, man? That's fucked up. They said almost every adult got hacked, got their information stolen.
Yeah, that's just that's their way of keeping track of everybody. Now they got everybody scared to death to go fill out this form online and blah 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 blah.
You know, what gets me? That's a credit agency. It's a place you go to see that if your information's been hacked, and here the company is supposed to be protecting you gets hacked. And you know, what's funny is those three upper level guys that shorted the stocks, you know, right before it happened too.
to a tune of $1.6 million.
You know, and they got, you know, the information that got released, it's the biggest hack in America. The information, people don't realize this: birth dates, your social security number, your driver's license number, your address, your phone number.
Your purchase history. Your purchase history. Yeah, so
every single thing on you got leaked out.
Yeah. That's all right, man.
This IRS paying millions and millions of dollars to people that are over 100 years old. And they say, well, there's nothing we can do about it. We just have to let it pass.
Kathy wants to know more on the lockdown down in Houston. Have they given any reason why they're blocking off the interstates and shit and blah, blah, blah?
Well, the lockdowns that I've seen today were all around Georgia. And Florida. And they were blocking off interstates every 40 miles, every entrance ramp 40 miles into the interstate going south. They were setting up military checkpoints. Now, it ain't that they weren't letting people through, but what they're making people go through these military
papers,
checkpoints.
Please. Show me your papers, please.
Yeah, to show that, you know, basically give them your license, verify that you live there, that you can go to your house if you need to get things out, but then you got to come back out. You can't stay.
Yep.
And so they're doing that in Georgia. They're doing that in Florida, and parts of Florida, not all of Florida, but parts of Florida. And so it's full military checkpoints, and they've got them around parts of Houston too. They say it's all in the name of making sure the right people get in and not the looters. You know.
Sandy said to Google this. She wants everybody to Google this. The forced depopulation of America's rural areas. I'm guessing that it's going to have something to do with Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, the UN takeover of all the rural lands and how they're going to keep them pristine and they don't want anybody walking on them or nothing.
Oh, that's why they're kicking the farmers out, man.
Yep.
Well, they're making it so expensive for them where they're going under, but they're doing this on purpose. You know that the squeeze is on. I'll give it to farmers, man. The squeeze is on them. A lot less farmers have got to feed a lot more of this country now,
right?
And the world.
Well, that one farmer has 10,000 acres of wheat, and he lost 30% as far as he can tell right now because of the wind and the storm.
Wait till you see the cost of orange juice. Wait till you see what the cost of orange juice does. It's always been stupidly overpriced, but wait till you see what happens now because those orange groves were decimated by that wind, man.
Yeah.
Well, there was 100 plus families put to the street in this one project area because the first floor level was all flooded. Well, what they were doing was helping people. All the storage units were bought up. But they were helping people move out, but they weren't giving them no fucking place to go. So you are totally homeless, okay? How many more of these stories are we missing?
Right. And I firmly believe that the National Guard is going to go through all of these places, house by house, and grab whatever they can grab before they let these people back into their homes.
Oh, absolutely. They're doing it right now as we speak. They're doing it in the Keys.
Yep. People are going to come back and go, hey, man, my fucking safe's gone with my guns and shit. What the fuck?
Well, this stuff was passed to law when Clinton was in, like I told you, the militia talked about it, where they had the right to go in and take anybody that has more than 90 days worth of food, medicine, or ammunition, and guns. If they had more than 2 guns or something like that, I forget exactly how many firearms they were allowed to have. But anybody that had an excess of that, which we know most preppers do and a lot of people do, they can remove that legally and there's no recourse to getting it back. It's gone.
It's in the Patriot Act. It's in the Patriot Act. Yep. So,
correct.
Kathy said her son lost a lot of crops this year. I'm sorry to hear that, Kathy. I hope he recovers because the federal government ain't going to help him out. I promise you. He can have crop insurance until he's blue in the face. And he will fight for years and years and years to see that money. I saw that happen back when I lived in Illinois years ago.
They had a program on one of the newscasts there that actually spoke to the thing of immigrants that are not here legally, that they're scared to live in trailer parks, that they're drawing disability and waiting for operations under our act of Social Security, your Medicare. How does that work out for you when you can hear people publicly talking about they're scared to go and sign up for these reliefs, but they're already signed up? How much of that is going on? I mean, it's open.
Right. Mark says, resistance is futile. You will be assimilated. Welcome to the hive. I got to tell you, I pray every day for my Creator to surround me with his full armor, and I don't think that the hive can penetrate that. So
Amen.
I sit comfortable in that knowledge.
The blood of Jesus over everyone that believes.
That's right. Because I'm not going to go buy my iPhone X. I'm not gonna. I don't watch their TV programming. I mean, they can throw whatever kind of hooky waves through my computer or my phone at me that they want to throw at me, but so far I'm still wide awake, man. I got that going for me. And I got a lot of friends that keep me grounded, and my God keeps me humble. So,
amen.
Speaking of Illinois, she said, I see they're dissolving it into 5 other states.
It's going bankrupt, isn't it? One of the what states they said it was running out of money coming?
Oh,
up?
Illinois.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Illinois, Pennsylvania, New Jersey's really on the fucking hook for a lot of shit. California's in the shitter. I mean, most of them are. There's 30 states that are on the verge of having to file bankruptcy. I think Illinois is going to be the first one to actually do it, because they just did their major 30% tax increase, and the people are fleeing the state like cockroaches.
Well, there's something that's supposed to be coming up here real soon that I call it, and I don't know how to really put it in the right perspective because I'm not a mathematical or a CPO or whatever. But apparently the banks have all agreed that there's be a quick draw on if you put some money in, that can be completely drawn out. Now, this is what happened to Greece with $6 billion. Those people lost all their money instantly.
Yeah.
Is that something they're thinking about on a Friday afternoon, making this a law, and on Monday morning you ain't got no money?
They can do whatever they want to, man. I've been telling people for years and years, only leave enough money in your bank to pay your bills. If you want to have cash, keep it at the house. I would strongly suggest that you put it into shit that you can use, whatever, gold, silver, property, seeds, gardening equipment, woodworking equipment, reloading equipment, maybe. Lead.
And this just came out from North Korea. They just come out and said right from their KCNA news agency, says they just threatened to sink Japan using a nuclear bomb, saying that Japan is no longer needs to exist near us.
That's an act of war right there. They threatened Japan.
We've been threatening North Korea since I was a kid
because they don't want them as a neighbor.
We've been threatening North Korea since I was a kid. So, I mean, we've had sanctions. Sanctions are an act of war. We just put more sanctions on North Korea. So, act of war. This is all blah, 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 blah. Distraction.
Yeah, but they're going to push Mr. Trump to the point he's going to make a bad move.
Yeah.
That bad move's already been decided.
It ain't going to be Trump.
It's just going to happen, It's going to be
he's going to be told what to say.
Rand Paul put out an amendment today to end endless wars, and it got voted down immediately.
Yep. Rand, he's just like his daddy, man. He talks a good fucking talk, but just can't walk the walk.
He shot his amendment down real fast at bullshit. We need these endless wars.
You can't fight the establishment from the inside. I've been saying that for a long time too. If you ever want to make a change, you have to start something new that makes the old obsolete. That's the only way you'll ever make a change. All these people that are running for Congress and running for Senate going, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to make a difference. No, you're not. You're going to get bought out just like the rest of them got bought out.
Trump's even finding out it's hard to maneuver around Congress and knowing them too, I mean, he's a puppet, don't get me wrong, but I think he thought he could come in and throw some sway in there with the Congress, and it ain't working out.
That's his ego talking.
Yep.
Yeah, Kathy, there's a few men left out here. You're right about that. There is, thank God there's a few men, because if we were all turned like they want, we would be in trouble.
Right. We're in trouble. There's no doubt about it. But there's going to be a few of us that are going to make it through this shit, and we're going to be the biggest pain in their ass ever. So I'm eager for that time to come around. There was a WebBot Alta report back in the day. This has probably been about a year and a half ago now or longer, that said that just around this time, toward the end of 2017, the United States government would start to be nothing. The people in the country would stop paying attention to them because they were completely full of shit. And I cannot wait for that to happen.
Didn't they mention the fact that they stopped paying their bills and stopped doing everything accordingly to what the government think is right?
I've been saying it for years since I've been on the radio. Stop paying attention to your government because your government doesn't pay attention to you. Ignore what they say to you because everything you say to them, they ignore. These people do not have your best interest in heart. Do not give them any more power. They only derive power because you're scared to death of them. And when you stop being scared to death of them and tell them to get fucked, they stop fucking with you. Okay. It's after 10. We had a good show tonight, I think. I think
Well.
we dove down a lot of rabbit holes and talked about a lot of different shit. And I hope made some difference in somebody. So that's what I'm here for. What'd you have to say, Dave?
Oh, I ain't got nothing, man.
Nothing? Any parting shots? Any last
Nope.
headlines coming across?
Well, just watch for North Korea to launch off a couple missiles here in the next upcoming hours or day or two, man, and see what happens from there. And like I said, you got the Zapad 2017 just getting ready to start in the next few hours, and it's going to go on for like a week.
Man, that's going to be bad, dude. We've got
Now,
all
they're saying
that armor
Putin's
over
going to
there.
have 100,000 soldiers he's got involved in this.
And we've got all that armor over there and all those troops that
Oh
are
yeah,
fresh.
we're going to try to poke him, dude. We're going to try to provoke him as much as we can, so we can say he threw the first punch.
Mm-hmm.
I think something's going to happen with Ukraine during this.
Well, let me throw this in here for the past. Apparently, they are not happy with George Washington. They splattered it with blood, and now they want that monument taken down. So that means the wall there in the Dakotas with the presidents is going to have to be removed. So those people haven't let up. They're kind of in not the line work right now. You know, they'll be back now that everything else is starting to settle down. But
Well,
Jim-
wait, wait till next week when you got that 4-day thing on Berkeley with Milo and Steve Bannon, and that's going to be crazy for 4 days. It's going to be 4 days of protest and riots in Berkeley.
They won't let it go on for 4 days, dude. The cops will put a kibosh on it. When they start rioting in the streets and burning cars and shit, breaking windows out, they'll put the kibosh on it and tell them to get out of town. That's what they did to
called
Milo
in
the
a
last
shitload
time.
of police for it.
Yeah, well, that's what they did to Milo the last time. They wouldn't even let him talk. You know, they said, "Oh, it's
Yeah,
too."
Steve Bannon to this. That's just kicking a hornet's nest.
Yeah. Steve Bannon said he was going to go get out of the Washington rat race and start dropping dirt on everybody. He ain't dropped dirt on shit.
It's been real, Jim. Appreciate you. You guys, I appreciate you coming on here, getting to come on here and feel what I got to say to everyone. I hope Dan makes his decision and comes on, and
Yeah, that'd be
whoever
awesome.
else can come in, you know.
All right,
Smoke weed every day.
I got to throw that in there because I forget to do it almost every show now. I forget to do that, so had to throw that one in there. And we're going to do the music out again, just like we did the last time. That seemed to be a big hit with everybody. So you guys know how I end the show. As always, Vaughn, thank you very much for coming on. David, you too. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
Lance,
Hug
Charlie.
the kids, hug the wife.
yep.
Yeah, thanks, Paul.
Everybody, see you next week. Love, peace, and cookies.